welcome back to Tomahawk's channel. Today we're back with the AT7, the tier 7 British TD. And I was thinking in the beginning, why does it go so fast and this Hellcat is speeding by, but this tank is just as slow. And I accidentally put the replay on ×2. So we're back at real speed and you can see this thing is not very fast. It goes about the same top speed as a mouse. It is 20 kilometers an hour. We're here on Swamp as middle tier. Whereas we already have a KV2 in our team who is complaining about the matchmaking. Yes, there is a tier 8, but looking where the tier 6s are on the list, they're already on the top 80% basically. Meaning they also have still a decent matchmaking. The ones who are really laughing here, of course, the tier 8s. Anyway, back to this game. What is the focus? We're actually looking at some teamwork here. And you see this team based on XVM status. Of course it doesn't really ever give you any guarantees, but it doesn't look too well compared to the enemy team. The enemy team has however a Cromwell which directly decided to drown himself, whether it be on purpose or not. But here we have our player Ebdani, who is unloading on this T29, and you see the DPM of the AT7 is quite reasonable. But his gun is not really cooperating, it's bouncing a couple of times. The previous shot was a kind of an inexplicable shot why it missed, but now he tracks and does damage. And can keep doing this all day long. Good penetration on this gun and reasonable damage per shot, 230 average damage. And these dancing leaves in my screen kind of make me sick, so this is why I'm gonna zoom out very soon. There we go. It looks a lot better. This is a free camera, so this is not Ebdani's camera. And just to give you a little idea of what he's looking at, I'm zooming out a little bit more. So you see there's 4 enemy tanks there. There is actually pretty much on their side and not so much inside the castle, because that's being pushed hard by our team. And here we have a top-down view from Ebdani. Now we can have a look at what he's shooting at, because he's doing damage on the tier 7 here. Does have more damage, so it's looking good with this DKV3. However, if you look behind us, there is a Cromwell, sneaky Cromwell, who has snuck all the way over the other flank, and that flank is completely uncovered by the team. And we're pretty much heavy tanks here. And we're completely invested in that flank, more or less. We won, it's 9-6. We are 2k damage hit points in front. But it doesn't say anything, as the base can be captured pretty quickly. Only the Tiger P and the FCM 50T, who are going to play a major role in our second half of the battle, have decided to come back with Ebdani and actually defend, whereas the rest of the team decides to push boldly. But we already have our first guy down. It's the Hannibal sniper in the OI. And here the Cromwell goes, and we are wearing down quickly. As you can see here, there is the Hellcat, the Jackson, and the T25-2, who are actually providing very effective fire. Kind of in a V shape if you take the T25T and the Hellcat and all the others there on the hill, which basically catches everyone in the crossfire. And here you see a 1 game is being thrown away by the friendly team, whereas only the Cromwell and the Skoda survive, and the Tiger P and the FCM 50T and Ebdani are fixing this flank. The Cromwell is finally dead. This does however not mean that they're in the clear. T25/2 is attacking and defending at the same time, but this gives the Tiger P and the FCM options to cover the attack of basically what's left of it. But now the Cromwell is dead, and now it's 3 versus 5. Not looking so good anymore. Ebdani has 950 hit points left, so that's pretty decent. Then we have the other guy with 950 hit points left, and the FCM, I'm not entirely sure how much he has. And here you can see with the bad gun depression of the AT7, there's not much Ebdani can do, but wait. I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit to see what it looks like. T25-T is there under. We have incoming fire from the flank where the Jackson was last spotted. And the T25T is actually putting some effective spotting damage in here. And Ebdani is taking hits now. That's one. That's two. That takes only off his track. Track gets reset. But he's using his repair kit and there's someone spamming HE on him. It's probably the T-34-85. And now suddenly there is a T-44-100 who made its way all up. And Ebdani and the Tiger P are putting up some fire and take him out. But there is still the Hellcat who takes a decent hit. But now the T-25T moves up and here you see how chaotic the situation is. Ebdani is caught in a crossfire, but the FCM can actually hold off the Hellcat from this angle and actually now puts a shot in the T-25. But Ebdani is taking a lot of hits, so let's have a look at how many hit points he actually has left. The Hellcat decides to shoot the FCM rather than Ebdani. And looking back at this battle, that's a thing he shouldn't have done. He should have finished off Ebdani because he's a 1 hit point. Right, he's still caught between two fires, the T-25 and the Hellcat. And his engine is broken in this machine on a hill, so it's not gonna get any better, right? However, it's cool that the FCM still can cover him. But here is the T-25 and the FCM takes him out. 5 kills for the FCM. Will he take out Ebdani? Still doesn't go for it. No, he bounces up the FCM and the FCM finishes up the Hellcat, so that's great. But now we have a little diva in our team. And his name is the Cromwell and he's French. And he feels the need to call out the FCM for being completely useless. However, first we have Ebdani getting caught in two fires once more with now the full health Jackson who suddenly decided to show up. And the T-34-85 who has also decided to show up. So Ebdani wisely retreats, he knows where they are, so he also knows his ass is now good and fine. And here we see our French diva popping up. So I'm actually censoring this for common matters here, as we are all civilized human beings as far as I know. Anywho, no worries, we still have the same situation. Our French guy is now starting to cry a bit more. And more. As we're waiting for those other guys and Ebdani bites back. He has done 2,500 damage so far and he's asking what Cromwell has been doing to contribute to our win. But back to the battle, we've done some damage on the... And where the hell did that shot even go? Did it bounce off the corpse of the T-44-100? That's what it looks like. However, the Jackson is in a bad shape now, but also... Comeback from the French guy here. However, he now takes out the T-34-85 and here we have the FCM who was making a run for it. He can now actually do it. He can still take a hit from that Jackson. Goes in, all in, and takes him out. So we're back at the bot replays. Let's have a look and see what this team has actually managed to achieve. As we saw in the beginning, this entire flank fell by just sheer stupidity, but keeping pushing, whereas the enemy had a super advantageous position and completely misused that in order to take out the Ebdani's team. So we get a first class with 2000 experience on the double, a Confederate and a steel wall. Let's have a look here how this looks on the papers. The FCM has actually had a very nice game with 2900 damage done. Props to him. What's... okay, you got here Fire for Effect, Bruiser, Duelist, Hand of God, and the Top Gun medal. And Ebdani already mentioned what he did. And let's have a look at what the rest of the team has done. Here's that KV-2 that was messing about in the beginning of the battle. 2 shots, 0 hits. Yeah. T-44-100 had a good game, but he lost. So, what can we learn from this? If you just back up your teammates and keep your mind clear and cool, you can actually still do it. And the Tiger P the FCM and Ebdani here made the right decision to actually go back, and all those people that managed to push on this entire list of tanks which are under the defenders, you can already see that it a hell of a lot less damage, and in the end what they tried to glorify, they completely lost it. You see that the enemy damage, they farmed a heck load of damage here, but in the end the team is winning and not the individuals. And you saw that also in the end where the enemy team pushed in pairs of 2 rather than all 5 at once. And if you just keep backing each other instead of making wrong decisions like this enemy Hellcat who didn't finish off a tank on 1 hit point, these people lose you the game. Right, final conclusion here. 20 shots fired, 16 hits, 12 penetrated, grants you a total of 2,740 free damage, a modest win of 3,000 credits here. But in the end, first win of the day. Okay guys, this was it. I hope you liked it. Please comment and maybe even subscribe. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.